the teen who fixed 100 bikes for free. In a small, bustling town nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a teenager named Alex Rivera. Alex was like many other teens, curious, energetic, and always on the lookout for something meaningful to do. But what set Alex apart was a heart brimming with empathy and a mind that never stopped tinkering. From a young age, Alex loved taking things apart: old radios, clocks, and especially bicycles. The clinking of chains, the hum of spinning wheels, and the satisfaction of making something work again were music to Alex's ears. Alex lived with their mum, Maria, in a modest house on the edge of town. Maria worked long hours at the local bakery, her hands dusted with flour and her smile always warm, even after the busiest shifts. Money was tight, but their home was filled with laughter, love, and the scent of freshly baked bread. As Alex grew older, weekends were often spent in the garage, surrounded by scattered tools and half-repaired bikes. Word quickly spread in the neighborhood: if your bike had a flat tire or a broken chain, Alex could fix it. Friends would drop by, sometimes just to watch Alex work, fascinated by the way nimble fingers coaxed stubborn gears back to life. For Alex, fixing bikes wasn't just a hobby, it was a way to help others, to make someone's day a little easier. One spring, as the school year drew to a close, Alex noticed something troubling. Kids in the neighborhood, especially those from less well-off families, were walking or running alongside their friends who sped by on bikes. Some had bikes, but they were rusty and broken, gathering dust in backyards and sheds. The more Alex paid attention, the more obvious it became: many families simply couldn't afford to repair or replace their children's bikes. That realization hit Alex hard. Bikes, after all, were more than just a way to get around. They were freedom, adventure, and a ticket to childhood memories. Alex remembered racing down hills, the wind whipping past, and the exhilaration of pedaling faster and faster. Every kid deserved that feeling. So, Alex made a decision. That summer, instead of just fixing bikes for friends, Alex would offer to repair bikes for free for anyone who needed it, no questions asked. The plan wasn't grand or flashy. It started with a hand-painted sign propped up at the end of the driveway: free bike repairs, no charge. Alex posted on local community boards and asked the principal to make an announcement at school. The first week, only a handful of kids showed up, shyly wheeling their battered bikes to the garage. Some parents came too, uncertain about accepting charity, but Alex's easy grin and gentle assurance put them at ease. "I just like fixing bikes," Alex would say. "It's fun for me." Soon, word spread, and the trickle became a steady stream. Old bikes, new bikes, bikes with missing pedals, worn-out brakes, and tangled chains, all found their way to Alex. At first, Alex used saved-up allowance and earnings from odd jobs to buy parts, tubes, cables, brake pads. When that ran out, Alex got creative, salvaging usable parts from junked bikes or asking for donations of old bicycles and supplies. The community, inspired by Alex's generosity, began to rally. The owner of the local hardware store offered a discount on supplies. Neighbors dropped off bikes they no longer needed. A retired bike mechanic, Mr. Jenkins, stopped by to lend a hand and share his decades of wisdom. Alex's garage became a hub of activity. Children gathered, not only to get their bikes fixed but to learn how to do simple repairs themselves. Alex taught them how to patch a tire, adjust brakes, and oil a chain. Laughter and chatter filled the air, transforming the once quiet street into a lively meeting place. Parents, who at first felt uneasy about accepting help, began to recognize the gift Alex was offering, not just in fixed bikes, but in community, connection, and self-reliance. As the summer wore on, the numbers grew. Alex kept a tally in a worn notebook: each name, each bike, and each little story that came with it. There was Leah, whose bike let her get to her first part-time job. There was Samir, who could now join his friends on weekend rides. There was Maya, who learned to fix her own flat and left the garage beaming with pride. Every repair was more than a fix. It was a step toward confidence and independence. But it wasn't always easy. There were days when Alex felt overwhelmed by the number of bikes lined up, the grease-stained hands aching from hours of work. There were times when frustration bubbled up, when a stubborn bolt refused to budge, when parts were scarce, or when doubts crept in. Was it really making a difference? Was it worth all the effort? On one particularly tough day, when the sun beat down and Alex was knee-deep in a jumble of parts, a little boy named Ethan arrived with his mother. Ethan's bike was in terrible shape, the frame bent, tires flat, and chain rusted. His mother explained, quietly, that it was the only bike they could afford, and Ethan missed riding with his friends. Alex spent hours on that bike, hammering, tightening, replacing parts. When it was finally ready, Ethan's eyes lit up, wide with amazement. He threw his arms around Alex in a hug, and his mother's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," she whispered, "you have no idea how much this means." That moment stayed with Alex. It was a reminder that sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness could ripple outwards in ways unimaginable. Fixing bikes wasn't just about wheels and chains, it was about hope, dignity, and believing that even one person could make a difference. As summer drew to a close, Alex looked at the notebook. 100 names, 100 bikes, 100 stories. It was more than Alex had ever imagined. And yet, the journey felt like it was just beginning. The local newspaper caught wind of the story and published an article about Alex's 100 Bikes for Free project. Suddenly, the quiet teen with a talent for repairs became the talk of the town. People reached out from neighboring communities, inspired to start similar projects. Donations poured in, tools, parts, even new bikes. The mayor invited Alex to speak at a community event, praising the impact that one young person had made on so many lives. Standing in front of a crowd for the first time, Alex felt nervous but proud. Speaking from the heart, Alex said, "I started fixing bikes because I love it, but I kept going because I saw how much it mattered." Sometimes, we think we can't do much because we're just one person. But every little bit counts. Helping one neighbor, fixing one bike, teaching one skill, it all adds up. If you see a need, don't wait for someone else to fix it. Do what you can, with what you have. You might be surprised by the difference you make. That lesson resonated far beyond the town's borders. Alex's story was shared online, reaching people across the country and around the world. Messages came in from strangers, thanking Alex for inspiring them to act in their own communities. Some started their own repair workshops, others volunteered at shelters, food banks, or after-school programs. The spirit of generosity and kindness proved contagious. But for Alex, the greatest reward was closer to home. The neighborhood felt different now, more connected, more caring. Kids zipped by on their newly repaired bikes, waving and calling out Alex's name. Parents stopped to chat, sharing stories and offering help. The garage, once just a workspace, had become a symbol of what was possible when people came together. As the seasons changed, Alex continued to fix bikes, teach others, and dream up new ways to help. The 100 Bikes for Free project became a tradition, with new volunteers joining each year. Alex graduated high school, went on to study engineering, and eventually returned to the town, opening a community workshop where anyone could learn, repair, and create. Looking back, Alex realized that the true lesson wasn't about bikes at all. It was about seeing a problem and choosing to act, even in small ways. It was about believing that kindness matters, that skills can be shared, and that every person, no matter how young or ordinary, has the power to inspire change. And so, Alex's story became a part of the town's history, retold at family gatherings, in classrooms, and among friends. It reminded everyone that sometimes, all it takes is one person, one idea, and one act of kindness to set something extraordinary in motion. From that day forward, the people of the town looked at their bikes, and each other, a little differently. And somewhere, in a garage filled with tools and laughter, a young person learned that the world could be changed, one small repair at a time. The lesson Alex left behind was simple but profound. When you give freely, you receive more than you ever imagined. When you help others, you help yourself grow. And when you fix what's broken, you build something stronger, not just in bikes, but in hearts, in communities, and in the world. Because kindness, like a well-oiled chain, keeps everything moving forward.